Well, love these signs. Killing it.
Are you sick of not hitting the numbers you're supposed to hit, making the money you want to make? Door to Door is a professional collaboration to up-level and bring honor and dignity to direct sales. So, in order to craft a vision, it's important to really start with, what do you want? Why do you want that? Who do you want it for? And that's really where I first start, is like, ask yourself the hard questions. Because I think a lot of people, they're like, what's your why? And I'm like, well, first off, it's like, figure out, what do you want? Like, some people start with this why, and there's this book, Simon Sinek, Start With Why, which is, I think, is really important. But also, like, start with, what do you really want to accomplish? That's like usually the first question I ask when I sit down with a consulting client, when I sit down with a customer, is I'm like, why? Like, I might phrase it like, why are you meeting with me? Or why do you have me out here? But the other question I usually follow up with, or even start, like, what do you want to get out of this? Like, what do you want to get out of work? What out of your job, out of your position, out of what you're doing? And then really I just start with there. So it's like, what and why, those kind of like really kind of coexist. And really, to craft somebody's vision, if people are moving and operating and running a business and they haven't spent time to actually create a vision and craft that, then they're just going to be spinning their wheels. So my recommendation would be, make sure to really deep dive into your leadership core. Maybe use some outside influence to give some eyes and ears and get to 30,000 feet view, so that you can really move the business forward how it should be.
Yeah, you want to be able to like I'm a brand.
It has to be something that transcends everything.
And that's like this, the cause. It comes like these two kind of go hand in hand. You have this cause and you have your core values, which go like this. But it's like, I want to be able to enroll. Like when I sit down with a new hire, I want to be able to be like, here's my core values. This is why you work for us versus anywhere other jobs you have. Can they state their core values like this? Do you align with these, yes or no? If you don't, then I don't want you. If you do, and you can buy into them, I want you. See how that
Okay, we're doing the 10-step referral process. What's everybody got to think about this referral process?
Woo!
Fire?
Yeah.
Brandon's about to do it.
We're gonna kill it.
You can tell he's just fired to try this out.
We don't want you to have jobs. If you came here looking for a job, guess what? You got one. Cool. Now when are we going to start having a career? That's your decision to make. I can't make that for you. I can give you the tools, we can talk about numbers, I can help you track, we can talk about percentages, we can do all these things. We can have lovely rah-rah meetings every single morning, but until you deeply within you make a decision to have a career or an obsession, you're always going to have a job. And your job is only going to be able to pay you so much. You have to make a different decision and have different habits to have different results and be worth more. Does that make sense? So understand, one, it's okay to accept that I have a clock puncher's mentality, because that's the first thing you have to do, is accept that you might actually have that. And two, understand that as long as you have that mentality, you're never going to be able to achieve anything more than that.
All right, out here with Jamie, the new girl, and Kia. Taught him how to walk through yards. I know a lot of people are gonna hate me for saying this, but do I walk through yards? Of course I walk through yards. It's more efficient. Fight me on it. Day and night. He's only got one inspection, I've got two. What's up? Oh.
So this is pretty solid hail damage right here.
Okay.
You can see this disruption.
Right.
When you got all this, is pretty okay.
Sure,
and then
sure.
this disruption here.
Right.
So what actually happens when you have some of this going on is, in these areas, this asphalt starts to be exposed.
Right.
You see this black asphalt here?
Right.
Well, what that is drying out from the sun.
Sure.
And then it's just going to start deteriorating.
Right.
And you actually have some areas already, like, that's a pretty solid hit. Kind of give an indication on your box
Right.
vent there, like what's
Right.
been hitting the roof.
Right.
So
We've had some hail
that's
come
a
through here.
hole. That's actually fiberglass. You can see the little
Right.
strands right
Right.
there. So what happens here is, that's what happens over time when hail damage starts deteriorating.
Sure.
So when you got these, only thing that's left is fiberglass at that point.
Right.
And fiberglass in this kind of application isn't designed to shed water.
Sure.
So then it's just got to go in somewhere.
Right.
A lot of times people are like, well, I don't have any leaks. Well, you got to
Right.
understand too, like you have decking.
Because I've checked it, I haven't seen any leaking.
Yeah.
I was gonna say decking.
You're gonna have decking to absorb some water. You got insulation that will.
Right.
You may have the backing of the sheetrock that'll get a
Right.
little bit before
Right.
you actually start to see a stain.
Sure.
9 out of 10 times, if you see a stain, you gotta actually have a lot more water than what most people think.
Right.
You know what I
right.
mean?
Right.
So it's better to get ahead of that rather than waiting, and then you
Sure.
got interior damage and all kinds of
Sure.
funky stuff.
We are champions. 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 Hey, win on three. 1, 2, 3. Win!
If you like what you saw, there's plenty more where that came from. Join the tribe and hit the button below. Subscribe today.